feminist organization in the state of New York is really fighting for women equality. And we really put ourselves on the line to make sure that we keep our word and that we keep our promise to women. We don't sell out, and it doesn't matter how much pressure they put.
Welcome back to Inside City Hall. That was the words of my first guest when her organization surprised many and endorsed Zephyr Teachout over Governor Andrew Cuomo. This comes despite the majority of women's groups sticking with the governor. Zenaida Mendez is the president of the National Organization for Women's New York State chapter. She joins me now to talk about what went into that decision. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Now, this is very interesting. I mean, just from the clip that you said there, you said it didn't matter how much pressure. Was there pressure?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, let's work backwards. National Organization for Women. How many members do you have across the state, and what was the process by which you made a decision about who to endorse?
Well, we have approximately 40,000 members across the state, and I always say contributing members because a lot of people join our mailing list and they not necessarily contribute monetarily to the membership. The process, we have a process, we have a questionnaire. The candidate fill out the questionnaire. They send it to us many times. They come in also and meet with us, and we do this process in person. Some of the other we might do it by email or do a conference call. With statewide endorsement, we meet.
And so, was there a vigorous debate about this?
It was 3 hours debate.
3 hour debate. Okay, very interesting. Now,
it was a serious. We seriously considered both questionnaire. It was not a lightly decision.
Now, the mere fact that Zephyr Teachout is a woman was not enough to win the endorsement, right? So what were the qualities that you preferred?
Oh, no. Well, the issues that we fight about. And many people think that we only care about reproductive rights issues. No, we care about education. We care about, pay family sick leave. Economic issues are a big factor for women in the state. So we look at globally what's going on. We also are very concerned about, corruption and everything else that happens in the state because women are more affected by everything. Every policy government takes are affected to women.
Well, now, when the governor created this Women's Equality Party that he's running on, and his running mate Kathy Hochul is running on, I know there were some members of now, including your New York City president, Sonia Osorio, who were there, who were present at that. So there's some group within your organization that likes the idea of the Women's Equality Party. What's your view?
Well, this is what happened. We are a member of the Women Equality Coalition in New York State. Sonia Osorio represents us in that coalition, so she was there with the coalition, not necessarily representing now.
Oh, okay, very interesting. So, well, give me your take. Give me the Zenaida Mendez take on the Women's Equality Party. Is it a good idea, bad idea? What do you think?
It's a wonderful idea if it was run by women, or if it was a creation of women. But I am very concerned how it was created. It's aligned right now, and it's basically aligned to elect the governor in case something happens with the Democratic primary. For he's gonna stay in the line, and I don't understand it because he already in the working family party line, independent line, the Democratic line. How many lines can he be? So my concern is we live in a democracy, and last time he ran unopposed. So now this was going to be the opportunity to really have an election.
And so if the Women's Equality Party does make it past November and is a permanent ballot status party, would it then be something that you might take another look at, maybe support?
Well, if women are in charge, yes. If we are in charge of how it's going to proceed, what are our priority, and it's a larger discussion that include all women, women specifically, because a lot of these decisions are taken by white women and a few women of color. So it has to be inclusive, something coming from the grassroots. Listen to what women want in the trenches, women are doing. Include one not-for-profit organization, head of more of those organizations. I mean, it's so much happening in the state of New York. Women are so behind. So that's our concern. If we're going to have a Women Equality Party, let's have a big Congress. Let's have a big audience where everyone have an input.
And so when the talk about the women's equality agenda being advanced again, possibly going through the legislature again, is that a high priority for now?
Of course, it is a high priority. But as long as the government is with the Republican Senate, I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
We need.
Well, and of course you've done endorsements up and down the line, right, for Assembly and for State Senate and so forth. Is it your expectation that the Democrats will control the Senate?
I hope so. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
But it's not. You see, even if it is bipartisan, we just look at who is pro-choice. So even if we have because we have Republicans who are now members,
right?
We are bipartisan.
Right.
Well, they are pro-choice. So that is what we're looking is the issue.
And it's a little bit of inside baseball, but this is the audience for it. There was a dispute last year that I imagine would carry over into the next session, which is whether or not all 10 planks of the women's equality agenda should hang together, because there were some people who opposed, in particular, some of the anti-abortion candidates or senators didn't like having them all sort of hanging together. Strategically, what do you think is going to happen? And
Well, now New York State is sticking to the 10 point.
Okay.
I mean, that was the point. I mean, and I also think that the media and everybody have to stop saying abortion piece. It is to codify this law with the federal law. It's nothing new.
Sure.
So that's a concern, you know, how we phrase that. So therefore, in the Republicans or the people opposed in the Senate, and even in the Senate, but also they are Democrat in the Senate that are opposed to it.
Sure.
They know this is not about abortion.
Okay, we shall see. I guess last but not least, when you talk about pressure, I mean, there's this sense that you don't go up against the Cuomo operation. They've got $35 million. They've been known to exact retribution here, or at least they call and talk tough about it and so forth. You seem to be an example of somebody, both as an individual and as an organization, not really scared of any of that.
Of course not. I mean, you have to, voters are intelligent. You can have all the money in the world, but when you look at people's record, that's what they're going to go about. And in New York State, we have, everyone is in politics. Every county is involved. And I think it's important to look, it's not so much about the money that the governors have or that political machine has. You have to look on what's the process on election day. Each of the county, each of the board of election, we have to have a discussion. You know, who appoint the people that are there on the ballot, working on the poll on that day. That's important because they control those polling sites. So it's not about the money. Let's talk about who's control the polling site on that day.
All right, we will be watching next week and beyond. Thank you so much for coming by. We'll talk again real soon.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll head out to Staten Island for a tour of Vincent